YouTube. Welcome to Gentle Yoga. I'm Kristen and offering this from Bay Center, Washington today, so blessings to wherever you are joining me from, and I'm hoping my internet connection is good enough. I think we are doing well. I consider this a gentle one class, so please honor your body as we move into the postures, offering yourself modifications and variations so you're always most comfortable and not taking it to that place of pain with your stretching. We're going to start off with some breathwork and meditation. I'm going to do some sound healing with some chimes and some bowls, and then we'll move into our asana practice. So take a moment to check in with your body and see how you want to be for your breathwork and meditation. Do you want to stay seated for breathwork and meditation, or do you want to come onto your back? I suggest if you're going to stay seated and cross-legged isn't comfortable, you could extend one or both legs out. You could also sit upon something so that your knees are a little bit lower than your hips. That could be a cushion, a blanket, a pillow. So just see if you need any of that support. And if you're coming onto your back, your legs can be extended to the floor, your knees could be bent. So just take a few moments to see what feels best to your body. If you're staying seated, finding that nice tall spine. And I would like to begin by acknowledging that we gather today on the ancestral homelands of the Coast Salish people who have lived in the Salish Sea Basin throughout San Juan Islands and the North Cascades watershed from time immemorial. Please join me in expressing our deepest respect and gratitude for our Indigenous neighbors for their enduring care and protecting of our shared lands and waterways. All right, friends. So if you're staying seated for breathwork and meditation, begin to cultivate that nice tall spine. And if you're on your back, make any other adjustments to see if you could be even more comfortable. And let's just take a few moments to just simply arrive here by connecting to the rhythm of our own breath. So just begin to sense the expansion of your inhalation. And notice how everything releases back towards the spine with your exhalation. So nothing to do but simply notice the breath. With each inhalation, begin to invite a sense of peace and ease into the body and the mind and the heart. And with each exhalation, continuing to relax and release, letting the morning go as we settle together into here and now. As you stay with noticing the breath, relaxing the muscles of the face and release in your jaw. Soften and relax any tension in the neck and the shoulders. Relax every part of the back, upper back, mid back, low back and sacrum. Relaxing any tension in the hips and the glutes. And just continuing to relax and release with each breath. From here we'll work closer with the breath, moving into a pranayama exercise. We're going to inhale for a count of 3, retain and hold the breath for a count of 3, and exhale for a count of 3. If you need a visual for the mind, you can imagine an equilateral triangle. I'm going to do a couple rounds with you, and then you can continue to work with this breath on your own. And I suggest that you count the breath in your mind, so 1, 2, 3 with your inhalation, 1, 2, 3 with your retention, and 1 through 3 with your exhalation. And that just begins to help guide the mind to stay with the breath. So once again, finding that nice tall spine if you're seated, relaxing, releasing as best as you can if you're on your back. And we'll begin together. Inhaling 3. Hold and retain the breath for 3. Exhale 3. Inhale 3. Hold and retain the breath for 3. Exhale 3. Again, inhale. Hold and retain the breath. And exhale. Continue in this way. Inhale, retain, and exhale for 3 counts. We'll incorporate this breath for 2 minutes. Stay with the breath. Inhale, retain, exhale for 3 counts. Three more rounds of this breath. With your next exhalation, we'll release the breath work, coming back to the natural rhythm of your own breathing. Before we move into our meditation, if you'd like, you could extend your legs out to shake out your knees a little bit. You're welcome to bring your opposite leg in front or just come back to whatever is most comfortable. If you're staying seated once again, finding that nice tall spine and making any other adjustments on your back. We'll move into our simple meditation. On your inhalation, mentally affirm here and now. And on your exhalation, mentally affirm present moment. Other thoughts may come to the mind, letting them pass and coming back to the meditation. Here and now, present moment for 2 minutes. meditation here and now, present moment. Stay with the meditation here and now, present moment. Three more rounds of breath at the meditation. And with your next exhalation, we'll release the meditation. Once again, coming back to your breath, sensing any changes in the body or the mind. From here, we'll take the hands to the heart center in Anjali Mudra, bow slightly to the hands, and just take a moment to honor yourself for being here this afternoon and today. Letting this time be a gift and opportunity to consciously and positively connect to your body and breath. Let's share one Om to open up our sacred space together. Taking a deep breath in to begin, please. Inhaling. And let's all embrace gentle acceptance for our intention today. Remembering that's the energy that we're going to hold and carry rather than our goal. So just holding yourself in loving compassion and kindness as we move into our postures and our asana practice. If you were on your back for your meditation, extending your legs out long, reaching your arms overhead, coming into a full body stretch, and then rolling to one side as you join us to a seated position. And if you stayed seated for your meditation breath work, extend your legs out long, shaking out the knees. And then everyone will take their feet wider than their hips. If you're on a yoga mat, out towards the side edges of the mat. The hands are going to face toward your body, fingertips pointing towards you, and bringing some weight into the heels and all fingertips. And we're just going to sway the legs side to side like windshield wipers on a car. Remembering to take it to the pace and rhythm that feels best to your body. You can inhale the legs to one side and exhale to the other. And then let's begin to look in the opposite, down towards the opposite hand for a little twist. So as your legs land over to your right side, look down to your left hand. And then exhale, legs to the left as you gaze to your right hand. A couple more times in this way, opening up hip flexors and low back, and giving a little twist to the lumbar spine. Next time your legs land over to your right side, let's release them to the floor for a double knee down twist as you gaze down to the left hand. Try to just allow the weight of your legs to release towards gravity as best as you can. If that's too much of a stretch, for knees or hips, you could place something between your knees or underneath that lower knee for some support. One more breath here. Inhale, head and knees back to center, and then legs will land over to the left side as you gaze down to your right hand. Nice deep breaths here. And then inhale, head and knees back to center, coming to a comfortable seated position. If cross-legged doesn't work for you, Sukhasana easy sit pose, you could extend one or both legs out to be more comfortable. Okay, let's take palms facing down on the knees. We're going to find that nice tall spine by reaching through the crown of the head, and then just simple hip circles, circling up towards your feet, rounding back towards your hips. And again, finding that pace and rhythm that feels best to you. Next time you come up towards your feet, reverse directions, opposite way. Good, coming back to center. Moving into a little flow, starting with your hands alongside your hips. Settle back to the sits bone so the core muscles are engaged, and you can even press your belly button towards your spine. Reaching again through the crown of the head. We'll inhale the arms overhead as you gaze up towards your hands. Exhale, hinging at the hips as you come into a simple seated forward fold. We're going to continue to move and flow here. Inhale as you round your torso back up. Arms are going to come back overhead. Exhale as you shift your body over to your right side, keeping your sits bones rooted to the floor. Inhale, return to center. Exhale over to the left side. Transitioning towards a twist, leading with your top arm. Inhale, coming up. Left hand lands at your right knee. Right hand behind you as you exhale over your right shoulder. Inhale, arms back overhead. Gaze up if you can. Exhale, twist to the left side. So there's our flow. We're going to work with that a couple more times. Inhale, arms back overhead. Exhale, seated fold. Inhale, round the torso back up. Arms come back overhead, looking up. Exhale to the right side, rooting sits bones. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale into our twist. We'll exhale over that right shoulder here. Inhale, arms come back overhead. Exhale, twist to the other side. Good, one more time. Inhaling up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, round the torso back up, arms overhead. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale into our twist. Exhale here as well. Inhale, arms back overhead. And exhale, twist to the other side. Good, and now we're going to hold in several places. So inhale the arms back overhead. Exhale, seated fold to hold. So here we're going to let the body take shape of the pose. So let the shoulders round, let the head hang. We do want to still keep our sits bones connected to the floor, so not lifting your buttocks off the mat. And as you get settled, then begin to relax in your hips and your glutes as best as you can. Continue to soften the muscles in your face. Gentle acceptance, 3 more nice deep breaths. With your next inhalation, begin to walk the hands back towards the body. Arms going to come back overhead. We're going to flow a couple times side to side, but a side bend flow. Inhale will bring you to center, and exhale over to the other side. So continue in this way, working with the coronal plane here. Try to keep the torso and your pelvis in alignment, envisioning your torso between 2 planes of glass. Good, next time you land over to your right side, let's hang there together for several breaths. So top palm can face the floor. And again, we're not lifting the buttocks off the mat. Both sits bones are rooted to the earth. A little bit of shoulder and neck work here. Inhale as you turn your gaze to the hamlets on the floor. And then exhale as you turn up towards the ceiling. So do that a couple more times. Inhale, looking down to the hand. Exhale up to the ceiling. One more time. Inhale. Exhale up to the ceiling. Bring the head back to neutral. Inhale back to center. And then exhale over to the other side. Try to soften that top shoulder down away from your body. Again, sits bones are rooted to the earth. Stay with the breath. Soften where you can. Release a little bit of effort here. And then we'll take that to shoulder and neck variation. Inhale as you look down to the hamlets on the floor. And then exhale, gaze up to the ceiling. 2 more. Last one. Good. Good, take the head back to neutral, and then we're going to transition towards our twist. So we're going to do a little flow again. So inhale, lead with that top arm. The left hand comes to your right knee, right hand behind you. Exhale over your right shoulder. Inhale, come back to center, arms back overhead. Exhale, twist to the other side. So let's do 2 more to each side. As you come to center, try to re-lengthen through the crown of the head to continue to elongate in your spine. And as you transition towards the twist, see if you can twist a little bit further. Next time you're looking over your right shoulder, let's hang there together for several breaths. So pausing here. So that hand behind you, those fingertips can point away from your body. See if your shoulders are creeping to the ears, and can you soften down the back body. Still on the sits bones, sensing those core muscles engaged. Nice deep breaths. Inhale, arms back overhead, come back to center, and exhale, twist to the other side. Deep, sweet breaths here. Try to breathe into the back body and spine. Relax the shoulders, release your jaw. One more beautiful breath. We're going to transition to a cat-cow flow or a spinal flex. So inhale the arms back overhead. Exhale, grasp onto the knees as you tuck the chin towards the chest, arching back to cat back. Inhale, tilt the pelvis forward, heart comes forward, gaze to the ceiling in cow spine. Exhale, back to cat back. And inhale into cow spine. Continue in this way a few more times, moving with your breath, continuing to awaken the spine, and beginning to open up in the heart center. As we open in the heart center, opening yourself to self-compassion, self-acceptance, and self-love. Last one. Good, come back to center. Let's extend the legs out, shake out your knees again. Giving a bit of a break here, coming back to either that same position or taking it to the opposite, your opposite leg in front. Settle back again onto the sits bones. We're gonna do a little shoulder neck work and also some pectoralis opening. So take the arms out in front. Your arms will be about 6 inches apart. Settle back to your sits bones so core muscles are engaged. We're gonna inhale as we open up to a T, and exhale as we come back towards 6 inches. So as you open up to a T, try to squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. So we're engaging in the rhomboid muscles in the upper back. Your hand's coming in. At that same time, press the chest forward so that we can lengthen in the pectoralis muscles in the chest. Perfect. Good, 3 more. Good, last one. And then when your arms are extended back out to a T, we're going to twist the arms as if we're opening up a doorknob. Make fists with the hands and then bend the arms at the elbows. And then the next time the arms come out to a T, we're just going to float the arms down into shoulder circles. Begin to find that full rotation in your own shoulder girdle. Letting any tension in the shoulders of the neck release with the breath. Good, reverse directions, opposite way. We're going to go back in that first direction, this time doing single shoulder circles. You can kind of even move in your upper torso. One more time, reverse directions. Good. And release, settle back to the sits bones so core muscles are engaged, hands are alongside the hips. We're going to inhale the shoulders up to the ears, exhaling with a ha as we let them go. Inhaling up. Inhale. Once more. Good, take the shoulders back to your ears, roll them behind you, soften down the back body. Take the palms facing down back to your knees. Take a deep breath in, with your exhalation tilting the right ear towards the right shoulder. Inhale gently back to center, exhale to the left side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, take the chin to the chest. Inhale back to center. Exhale, gaze up to the ceiling. Inhale back to center. Exhale, look over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale over your left shoulder. Inhale back to center, and then exhale, coming back to that right side, tilting ear towards the shoulder rather than lifting your shoulder to meet your ear. Relax your jaw, soften the space between the eyebrows, and you can even reach the muscles on that left side of the neck up towards the ceiling for a little isometric stretch. And if you'd like to increase that stretch slightly, you can extend your left arm out to the side, fingertips near the floor. Good, hand comes back to the knee. Inhale the head gently back to center. Exhale over to the other side. Deep, sweet breaths here. Breathing into the shoulders and the neck, helping to soften tension with our breath. And if you'd like to increase in that stretch a little bit, you can extend your right arm out to the side. Hand comes back to the knee. Inhale the head gently back to center. Exhale, take the chin towards the chest. And then we'll inhale as we roll the right ear towards the right shoulder. Exhale, sweep the chin towards the chest over to the other side. A few more times in this way. Slow, mindful movements of the neck, accompanied with a slow, mindful breath. One more in each direction. Take the chin back towards the chest, holding there for a few breaths. Practice breathing up the back body as you reach the back of the skull towards the ceiling. Inhale the head back to center. Exhale, gaze up to the ceiling. Imagine you've got a paintbrush on the end of your nose, painting an arch or a rainbow, going side to side, stretching the back of the neck in a mindful way, protecting the vertebra. Still making sure this feels okay to your body. If this is too much, continue to go back and forth with the chin along the chest, making smiles over the heart or smiles in the sky. One more to each direction. Gently release. We'll come back to center. Close your eyes if that's okay. Otherwise, just focusing on the screen or a stationary point in your room. We're going to take 3 integrating breaths here, trying to bring your breath all the way up into the shoulders and the neck. Big inhale. Another deep breath. And another full breath. Mentally affirm, I am at peace within myself. And gently reopen the eyes. Let's extend the legs out, shake out your knees again. And then bring your legs to a comfortable V. We're not going into a super wide-legged V, but just a comfortable V for your own body. And then release the skin from the sits bones so they have contact with the floor. We're going to do a little hamstring lengthening and brain balancing. So the arms are going to go out to a T. We're going to shift the torso so the left hand comes towards your right foot and the right hand comes towards your left foot. And here when we cross the center midline of the body, we're balancing the left and right hemisphere in the brain, so some interhemispheric integration. And if you can keep the sits bones connected to the floor, you'll notice the lengthening in the hamstrings and the adductors and other muscles in the backs of the legs. Next time you come over to your left side, let's hang there together for a couple breaths. So here we're going to invite more of a flat back. We just rounded the shoulders in our last fold. So hands can come alongside your thigh, your knee, your calf. Maybe you take it to the toes. Maybe you've got a strap or a belt or a scarf across that foot. But keep your back and your wings on, keep your shoulders on your back and your wings on your back body. So you can look down towards your left knee so that the neck stays in alignment with the spine. And then I'm encouraging my heart and my belly towards the legs rather than rounding the shoulder towards the leg. Sensing breath. Noticing changes in the body as things begin to lengthen and fascia begins to release. One more breath. And then let's walk the hands to center. We're going to hang at center for a couple breaths. Arms could be extended from your body. Maybe you've got flexibility, come down to elbows. Still keep shoulders on back body. You might notice adductors here, your inner thigh muscles, saying good afternoon. Backing out a little bit if it's too much, staying with your breath. Two more breaths. Good. With your next exhalation, walk your hands over to your right side. Facing hands wherever is comfortable. Keep the shoulders behind you. Now gazing down to the right knee to keep neck in alignment with the spine. I still have my left sits bone, both sits bones rooted to the earth. Deep, sweet breaths here. Two more breaths. With your next exhale, we're going to come back to center. This time, invite you, if you can, take your hands towards your ankles or towards your legs if you can't go all the way down to your ankles. And then let's hang here. You can have a little more rounding in the shoulders if that's more comfortable for your body. Still looking down towards the earth for that neck alignment. And if grabbing the body, you can even just place in front of the ankles on the floor if that feels better. Inside the ankles. Two more breaths here. Good, and then just walk your hands up your legs to release. Use the hands to bring the knees and legs back towards each other. Rocking the baby, we're going to do a little hip opener. So we're going to take our left foot. We've got two options here. You're going to take your left foot into your right elbow crease and wrap the left arm around. So this is variation 1. If that doesn't work, take a foot and a knee in each hand. So here we still want to have a nice tall spine, so we're not kind of rounding the shoulders here. I'm going to have a little lift in the sternum and a little lift in the heart, and then we're just going to rock that leg side to side, seeking an opening in that hip flexor. Make variations and modifications so you're comfortable here. Returning back to center, and then take the foot. We're going to extend that leg in front of us. You can keep a nice bend in the knee. You can keep a really big bend in the knee. You don't have to hold the foot. You could just hold that leg into the air. But extend that leg as best as you can. And then imagine you do have a string being tugged from the heart and the sternum. Lift through the heart. And then we're going to incorporate the breath of fire, so belly pumping. So as you exhale, press your belly button towards your spine. Take a deep breath in to begin breath of fire. Exhale all air, take a deep breath in, and slowly release that leg down. And then we'll switch that to the other side. Rocking the baby on the other side, either in that elbow crease or just a hand and foot. Foot and knee in each hand. Still try to find that nice tall spine reaching through your heart. And if you're only rocking like this, that's awesome. It doesn't matter how big the movements are. Feeling a stretch in your body is most important. All right, come back to center. We'll grab that foot if you can. Extend that leg as best as you can, or not, just lifting that foot into the air. And then we'll begin breath of fire. Take a deep breath in to begin. Exhale all air. Take a deep breath in. And release. Good. Shake out the legs. And then coming to hands and knees. Okay, so we want a little bit of space between the wrists as well as the knees. I've got hyperflexible elbows, so mine might look a little bit different. Do keep a little bend in your elbows. And if you need any support for your wrists, you could take your hands into fists, or you could roll something up to support underneath the heels of the hands. Again, wrist under elbows, knees under hips, cat-cow flow. Take a deep breath in. With your exhale, arch the body up into cat back, press the spine to the sky, lift your belly button to the spine. So in cat back here, we are engaging our core muscles. And then inhale into cow, lifting tail, gazing up as you soften in the belly. Exhale, opening up the back of the heart. Inhale back to cow. So continue in this way a few more times with your own breath cycle. Continuing to awaken the spine and giving a sweet little boost to our immune systems. Two more here, and then we're going to hold a little bit, and then we're going to move into a cat-cow child's pose flow. So next time you come to cat, let's hang there. So sits bones are lifted, and our gaze is lifted to the ceiling. Exhale, come back to cat back. Lift your belly button to your spine, pressing the back of the heart to the sky. A deep breath in with your exhale, sitting back into child's pose. Take the buttocks towards the heels. Forehead can come to the floor with your arms extended, or they can be alongside your body, or you can stack a couple fists on top of each other to rest upon. Yielding all of your weight into the earth as you sink into the breath as best as you can. Widening the knees if that would feel better to your body. Always making modifications so you're most comfortable. Two more breaths here. All right, if your arms are not in front, let's extend them in front as we move into a cat-cow child's pose flow. So from child's pose here, take a deep breath in. With your exhale, press your bodies up into cat back. Inhale into cow, and exhale back to child's pose. Inhale here in child's pose. Exhale up to cat back. Inhale into cow, and exhale back to child's pose. So continue two more times here with your own breath cycle. Next time you come back to Balasana and child's pose, let's hang there for 5 more breaths. This time widen the knees out further than towards the side edges of the mat, further out of the hips. Mentally affirm, I am awesome at taking care of myself. All right, walk the hands back towards the body. Gently bring your knees back towards each other. We're going to do a wrist stretch. So if you're okay to sit on your knees, stay here. You could go up on the knees. And you could also, if you want a foot stretch, you could also tuck your toes under for a little fascial stretch. And if none of this works, just simply sit onto your hip. We're going to take the fingertips together, rotate the wrist around in circles. And reverse directions, opposite way. All right, coming back to hands and knees, we're going to do a sunbird flow, and then we'll move into sunbird for our balancing pose today. So come back to hands and knees, realign wrist under shoulders, knees under hips. Starting on our left side, we're going to take the left knee and the chin towards the chest. Exhale with your tuck. Inhale as you extend that leg behind you, gazing forward. So here we want to square the hips to the floor, and you want to again lift your belly button to the spine, and we don't need to lift that leg higher than the hip. Okay? Exhale as you tuck, and inhale as you extend. So continue in this way. If you want to take it a step further, begin to incorporate your opposite right arm. So right elbow towards the left knee with your exhale, and then extending limbs. And so here I look down to the floor to help with balance. I'm still lifting my belly button to my spine, so core is engaged here. Again, you don't need to be incorporating the arm, the extra arm. 2 more wherever you are. Next time limbs are extended, let's hold there. So I'm going to show some variations for balancing sunbird. Again, belly button to the spine. So if the lift is too much, you can just take your toes to the floor and just work with a leg extension, not a leg lift. And then opposite right arm in front if you want to try balancing sunbird. 3 more breaths wherever you are. Good. Exhale, release. We're going to switch over to the other side. So the right knee, exhale with your knee and the chin towards the chest. And then inhale, extend, gazing forward. Exhale as you tuck. Inhale as you extend. Good, and then if you want to continue or take it a step further, you can begin to incorporate your opposite left arm. Slow it down if you need to, always honoring your body. 2 more. All right, so find that variation. If you don't want to do the lift, keep the toes on the floor. You could still work with the leg extension without, or the arm extension without the leg lift. 2 more breaths wherever you are. Exhale, release. We're going to come back to child's pose with widened knees. So bring the knees wider than the hips. Big toes will come towards the center, releasing to Balasana. You can take the fingertips together, do a little wrist stretch while you hang here. Relax the wrist. 3 more breaths. Good. Begin to walk the hands back towards your body. Bring the knees back towards each other. Another wrist stretch. Interlacing the fingers, making figure 8s with hands and wrists. Reverse directions. Alright, we're going to also add Ardha Chandrasana half moon for another balancing pose on hands and knees. So I'm going to show different variations. We're going to get there by table pose, and we'll start by extending our left leg back behind us. So the main goal for Ardha Chandrasana is to be able to stack the hips on top of each other. So from the leg extension, then I kind of shift my right hand more underneath my face, then my shoulder, so then I can have this hand a little more free, my left hand a little more free. I don't have any locks with me today, so your left hand can just be on the floor, your left hand can come to your hip, your left arm can extend to the ceiling. So there's all these variations. Your toes could still be on the floor here. This could be your half moon. You could have your hand on a block here. So lots of variations, but the main thing is to try to stack your hips on top of each other. Okay? So let's start on the right side since I just did the left side. Or start on the left side. So extend your right leg back behind you. Maybe shift that left hand underneath your face. You could take your right hand to a block. And then take that, or the right hand can come to the hip, or that right arm can extend to the ceiling. Wobbling is building strength. Woohoo! Yay, we're still building strength. All right, so let's do, so release that side. I'm going to come back to that first side just because I demonstrated before. So take your left leg back behind you, shifting your right hand underneath your face, and then begin to stack that left hip over your right. Again, hand can be at the hip, arm can be extended. I'm trying to engage my super lower belly muscles for stability, so that's a little tuck to my pelvis. Finding your variation of Ardha Chandrasana for 3 more breaths. Good, you can take your hand back to your hip, return back to table, and then one last time, Balasana pose. Deep, sweet breaths. With your next exhalation, we'll walk the hands back towards the body, bring the knees back towards each other, and we're going to transition onto our backs. We're not going to come up to standing today. If you want, you can use the strength of your core to slowly lower yourselves down to the floor. And when you find your way onto your back, we're going to take our feet wider than our hips. If you're on a mat, out towards the side edges of the mat, arms are going to come out to a T, and we're just going to sway the legs side to side. Keep the head forward for now, offering a little twist to the lumbar spine and a nice massage to the multifidi muscles that go all the way down to the sacrum. Inhale to one side and exhale to the other. And now we'll shift into a twist flow. So begin to look in the opposite direction of your knees. As the legs land to the right side, gaze to the left hand. And then exhale, legs to the left as you gaze to the right hand. A couple more to each side. Move with the breath. And the next time your legs land over to your right side, let's release them to the floor for a double knee down twist. Trying to allow the weight of the legs to release towards gravity as best as you can. Shoulders rooting into the earth. Deep, sweet breaths. Inhale, head and knees back to center. Exhale over to the other side. Good. Inhale, head and knees back to center. We'll bring the feet to hips distance apart, and arms can just be comfortable alongside your body. Apanasana. With your next inhalation, take the right knee towards the right shoulder. You can interlace the hands on top of the knee or underneath the knee along the hamstrings, or really not at all. You can just align that knee with the shoulder. So I like to take it out towards the shoulder to help out that hip flexor a little bit. If you want it in towards the inner part of that shoulder, you see what feels best to your body for your hip. You might want a little tuck of the chin to the chest. Maybe you want to lift the chin towards the ceiling. Just see what would feel best for the cervical spine. And then come to that left knee. Do you want to keep that left knee bent, or do you want to extend that leg to the floor? If you're going to extend the leg, I suggest to flex that foot so we're keeping that side engaged and rooted to the earth. Relax your face. Release your thoughts. Nice deep breaths. Two more nice deep breaths, sending those breaths down into that right hip. And with that next exhalation, just making simple circles with your right knee. You can have 0 to 2 hands on the knee. And the next time the knee comes towards your chest, reverse directions, opposite way. That knee back to Apanasana, and then ankle circles in a clockwise position. And reverse directions. And then take your left foot to the floor and the right foot to the floor. Both knees are bent. Take a deep breath in. With your exhalation, taking the left knee towards the left shoulder. Apanasana to the other side. So seeing what feels best on this side, interlacing on top of the knee, underneath the knee, or not at all. You could take a strap or a scarf or a piece of fabric there as well. See what feels best to your chin, for the neck, and then finding that variation for your right leg. Again, if you're flexing, if you're extending that right leg, flex the foot so those muscles are engaged. And then just relax where you can. There's effort happening, but that doesn't need to be stressful effort. Try to find that place of easeful effort as you stay with your breath. Two more breaths down into your left hip. With your next exhalation, coming into hip circles with that left side. 0 to 2 hands on that knee, and making as big or as small of circles as you'd like, and moving as fast or slow as feels comfortable to your body. Reverse directions, opposite way. Good. Return that left knee back to Apanasana, and now ankle circles, starting counterclockwise. Good. Reverse directions, opposite way. And then extend both legs out. I'm going to do just a simple abdominal strengthening before we move to Shavasana and finish up for this afternoon. So take the arms overhead. Thumbs are going to touch the floor as your pinkies lift up towards the ceiling and the legs are extended. I also have flexion in my feet so that the legs are engaged. With your next inhalation, lifting your right arm and your left leg into the air. Exhale back down. Inhale left arm and right leg. Exhale back down. So continue in this way. You're welcome to shift the breath cycle if you want to exhale as the limbs come together. Inhale, returning to the floor. Also, you get to choose if you want to keep a slight little arch in your very low back, or if you want to press the very low back into the floor. So see what feels best and most supportive for your core and for your low back. Three more on each side. Here's 3, 2, last one. Good, release. Let's take the knees into the chest, hugging the arms around the shins, taking some nice deep breaths into the belly. You're welcome to rock elbow to elbow if that would feel good to you. Rocking back to center. Return the feet to the floor so ankles are aligned underneath your knees. We're going to hold bridge to counter stretch the core and for a slight inversion before we move to our sound healing Shavasana. So spread your toes, press all 10 toes and both feet into the earth. Engage your legs, engage your core and your glutes. Keep that engaged the whole time we're holding in bridge. And then bend the arms at the elbows and make fists with the hands. And we're going to press down into the floor with our elbows and our feet as we lift the pelvis and the heart towards the sky. Take a deep breath in and an exhale here as well. And then with your next inhalation, we're going to lift up in bridge. Try not to turn your head to either side as you find your way up into bridge, just protecting in the cervical spine. So again, I'm pressing down into the floor with the back of my skull, shoulder blades, elbows, feet and toes. Glutes are engaged, legs are engaged, core is engaged. 3 more strengthening breaths. Good. Exhale as you lower the spine back to the earth, 1 vertebra at a time. Take the knees to the chest. And again, nice deep breaths into the belly. This time you can turn the head side to side to release the neck a little bit. We'll transition towards Shavasana, final relaxation. So just showing a couple variations for some comfortable positions. We've got constructive rest pose where your feet are wider than your hips, kind of out to the side edges of the mat, and the knees will come towards the center to touch and support each other. I've got a little inward angle of my feet, and then a low V with the arms is comfortable. You can extend the classic Shavasana, just extending your legs all the way to the floor. You could be in Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly, or cobbler. One hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. So see what feels best to your body. Adding socks or clothes or blanket or pillow if you could be even more comfortable. Shavasana is an opportunity to allow us to integrate our practice into the body, mind, and spirit. With each breath allowing that integration as you invite your whole self to come into a peaceful state of relaxation. Slowly bring your attention back to your breath. Deepening and lengthening in the breath. As you deepen the breath, inviting gentle movements to the body, wiggling your fingers and toes, circling your wrists and ankles. If you like, extending legs out long, reaching arms overhead into a full body stretch. Take a moment rolling to your right side, using your lower arm to support your head. And then using strength of hands, elbows, and arms, gently lifting yourselves up to a comfortable seated position. Take your time. close our practice this afternoon with 1 Om, placing palms wherever is comfortable. Let's take a deep breath in to begin, please. Inhaling. Bringing the hands to the heart center in Anjali Mudra. We'll end by praying for peace with 1 Om, 3 Shantis, and 3 pieces. Om, Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. May we carry it into our worlds. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me this afternoon. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are. Many blessings. I will see you next time. And if you are able to make a donation, I am on Venmo and PayPal. And the Yoga Loft is offering classes 7 days a week, so hop on their website, yogaloft.biz. And many blessings. I'll see you next time.